Good morning and welcome back to the channel. This is very unusual to get this weather that we've got down on the allotment in mid-September, but I'll take it. I thought I'd come down today. As you know from a previous video, I've got a massive list of jobs, but they're to do over the winter period, and I thought I'm going to take advantage of this weather and come down with a brew, and I'll just turn you around and show you. Get a burn on of all those tomatoes to burn that I took out of the greenhouse, and a load of the old sunflower heads. So I thought I'll come down, chill out, bit of slow living. I see that's the trend at the minute on YouTube, slow living. So yeah, so I thought I'd just come down, have a quick chat with you, discuss one or two concerns that I've got with the plot. And it's not necessarily my plot, but it's the site. When we went to our last committee meeting, the chairman mentioned that Leeds City Council allotment officer had been in touch and said that they wanted to come round and do an assessment. Now, I've been here nearly 8 years, and some of my fellow plot holders have been here 20 odd years, and Leeds City Council have never been down and done an assessment. And having worked for the local authority myself for many years before working for myself, I know when some things just don't add up. Now, there's massive talk in Leeds now. Well, now there has been for the last 30 years at least about having some form of mass transport, and they're talking about having a tram that runs from Leeds to Wakefield and Leeds into Bradford city centre. For many years they tried to get a tram system just for this city, then a trolleybus system just for this city. I think they finally realised they're not Manchester. You know, Manchester is huge compared to Leeds. So they've gone for this approach now where it's the West Yorkshire Combine Authority that are getting together to look together to put this mass transit system in place. And it has been sort of confirmed that one of the, or two of the main routes, or the favourite routes, are one from Leeds city centre through to Bradford, and then the other one is Leeds to Wakefield, I believe. But that will take in South Leeds Stadium, which is approximately a quarter of a mile that way, and the White Rose Centre, which is approximately a mile that way, and the city centre is that way. Now, I don't know how they're going to get a tram, very relatively long. I take it they can't do left turns, they've got to come round on an arc. I don't know how they're going to get from the city centre to the stadium, and then from the stadium up to the White Rose without creating some sort of bypass, if you like. And I don't know, these are just my thoughts, but I think that bypass could be this allotment site. It's speculation, it's not confirmed, it's just my thoughts. Because of the angles of where the White Rose is and the stadium is, I just think that they've got to bring it round on a gentle arc, and if that's the case, it would go from that corner right the way through the middle of this site. Now, it might be poppycock, I might have it completely wrong, but it's a theory. One of the things that I've always been worried about this site is because we're between industrial estates. So there's an industrial estate at that side, industrial estate at this side, and on that road there's a main arterial route from the M62 down into the city centre, and this land must be worth millions. And we've got a very, very large company on that side who I think in the past have shown an interest in this site. So whilst it is a bit of a shock if it comes true, I'm not hardly surprised, to be fair. So what I'm going to suggest to the committee is that first thing they do is get onto the councillor, find out what this allotment officer and this assessment is, you know, and as a local authority, following the 7 principles of public life, they've got to be open, honest and transparent. So I'm going to ask them to ask the councillor to ask the questions. What's this assessment for? Is this allotment site at risk? And by rights, they're supposed to be open and transparent and tell you the truth. But 9 times out of 10, what they'll do is they'll respond with a load of hot air, poppycock and fluff, saying something and nothing. So when you finish reading the letter, you won't have a clue what it meant. But if this site were to go, then, you know, there's going to be a lot of, you know, disgruntled plot holders. But again, this is one of the other things that I used to say. You know, if you had every single plot on here worked up to a good standard, you know, filling it. Oh, I'm just watching a cat. That cat that we're talking about is just behind the camera, and it's eyed up some prey. Yeah, if all the plots looked spot on and they were worked, when they came round for this assessment, they'd think to themselves, yeah, look at that, it's a Julie's that, we're taking a lot away from them. We could expect a little bit of an uproar. But this site, and I don't know about your sites, other allotments out there, but this site has got a hell of a lot of really poorly kept plots. So yeah, it's just one of those things you've got to think about just in case. You know, could I be bothered to start again setting all this up? I probably would, you know, I would. You'd have to just take it on the chin and see if I could find another site, and if they gave us enough notice, I could slowly but surely strip things down and take them. But I'm hoping that my assumptions are wrong. Fingers crossed. You know, beating a good fire. In between sort of shots, I've just had a look on the YouTube channel for the mass transit, and it seems that they're not actually going to go directly to the stadium. I think it's about just passing it as close as they can to it. So that, what I'd said about going from the White Rose to the stadium and cutting right through the middle of the site, isn't on the cards. It's a case of just coming up the main, what we call Dewsbury Road. But I still have my concerns. and I'm going to keep watching that space, and I will keep you posted on any progress. Hopefully there isn't any. Anyway, on to more cheery things. As I say, hopefully I'm wrong and I'm concerning myself over nothing. The next couple of videos, I'm going to have to try and get an update of the bar, and also an update on the hedge that I've started at the beginning of the season down the side of the house, and the plants that I have bought for around the middle part of the garden near the hot tub. I need to do those videos, so they'll be coming up in the next few weeks. The bar is virtually finished. Jimmy were asking me about it from plot 41B, asking me about it. It's all been lined out. The floor's down. I believe they've just stained all the floor now and put a varnish on. So the next thing now is just to actually build the small bar top and wall itself, and I'm going to hope to do that in the next week or two. So once I've done that, we'll have an update, and even if it's got fully finished, you can join me there for a pint. And as I say, you know, I bought 1 or 2 plants for the project, and what I'm going to do is I'm not going to bother planting those up now. I'm going to put on the 2 large banana plants that I've got, and some of the other plants. I'm going to put them on, put them to one side, and just look after them over the winter, ready for planting, because I've got a big problem in the middle garden with bindweed. And what I did with the bottom garden, with bindweed, what I did with the middle part of the garden last year is I left it bare, and as the bindweed started to come up, I used glyphosate in a gun and just sprayed it, and it seemed to do really, really well in the middle part. So I've got to do that down in the bottom as well. So yeah, I'm just going to pop the plants on, keep the bananas in under cover. I don't think I'll risk bringing them down to the greenhouse because they're quite expensive and I don't want them getting nicked. So I might leave them at home and just leave them in my bar, and of an evening, and if I need to use the bar I can always take them outside. So yeah, that'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks. But what I'm really on with now is starting to clean up, you know. I've got this fire going now. I'll get all these weeds on. I've got a couple of beds there that are the smaller beds that'll take me 2 minutes to clear, and that's one of the beauties of having raised beds. You know, you can manage them quite quickly. You know, I've got one up there that I had radishes in. Some of them have all blown now. It'll take me literally 2 minutes to pull those out, bring them down here, put them on there, get them burnt, rake the bed over, job done. I'm contemplating on getting some membrane and cutting them out to the sides of the beds and just covering them over for the winter, just to keep any weed seed, because I am surrounded by, you know, loads and loads of plots that aren't used. So yeah, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to be down here for probably 2 or 3 hours, and then I've got to get up home because we've started doing the kitchen. The wife's up there at the minute decorating, and I've volunteered to join her. And you know me and decorating, we don't mix. Anyway, I've rambled enough. I thought I'll just do something a little bit different. We just have a little chat, and it just makes a change, doesn't it? Yeah. Right, okay, I'm going to get off. I'm going to finish this brew, and then I'll get up and I'll start doing something. Until the next video, guys, which might be in the next couple of days. Take care, and I'll see you then. Hi, hello. You alright? One of the plot holders have just gone past. I'm thinking I'm talking to myself. Anyway, as I was saying, take care, guys. Look after yourselves, and happy growing.